Making it to the NBA is every kid's dream. The lights, the fame, the money, it feels like the top of the world. But here's the real question. What happens when you finally reach the NBA and then lose it all? Not every player who makes it to the league stays there. Some throw it all away because of bad choices. Others struggle with personal battles they can't overcome. And some just can't handle the pressure that comes with being in the spotlight. Over the years, the NBA has banned and suspended players for breaking rules. In many cases, those bans didn't just cost them games, they ended entire careers. So today, on GOAT Report, we're going to dive into the stories of NBA players who got banned, why it happened, and the lessons hidden in their journeys. But before we jump in, let me ask you, if you had the chance to play in the NBA, what would you risk it all for? Fame? Money? Or would you do whatever it takes to protect your dream? Make sure to hit that like button if you love basketball stories, and don't forget to subscribe to GOAT Report for more deep dives into the game we all love. O.J. Mayo, wasted potential. Let's start with one of the biggest what-if stories in modern basketball, O.J. Mayo. When Mayo entered the NBA, the expectations were huge. He was drafted 3rd overall in 2008 by the Memphis Grizzlies, and people believed he had everything it took to be a star guard. He could score, he was athletic, and he carried himself with the kind of confidence every young player dreams of. At first, things looked good. His first few years showed promise, but slowly, cracks began to show. In 2011, he was suspended after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. That was already a warning sign. Then, in 2016, came the moment that ended it all. The NBA gave Mayo a 2-year ban for breaking the league's anti-drug rules. This wasn't a short suspension, it was a complete dismissal. He was out of the NBA just like that. Mayo tried to keep his career alive overseas, playing in places like Puerto Rico and China. But the truth is, the NBA never opened its doors to him again. It's a sad story, because the talent was there. He could have been a strong starter, or at least a respected role player for many years. Instead, when people hear his name today, most remember the ban, not his game. The lesson here is simple. Talent might get you into the NBA, but discipline is what keeps you there. Tyreke Evans, from Rookie of the Year to suspension. If you were an NBA fan back in 2010, you probably remember just how exciting Evans was. He wasn't just good, he was special. In his very first season, he won Rookie of the Year, beating out players like Stephen Curry and James Harden. Yes, the same Curry and Harden who later became superstars. That's how impressive Evans was at the time. His rookie year was even historic. He joined a legendary list of players, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Oscar Robertson, as one of the only rookies ever to average at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. People thought Evans was the next big thing, a future superstar in the making. But as the seasons went on, things changed. Injuries started slowing him down. He was still a good player, but he never fully lived up to the huge promise of his rookie year. And then came the shock that ended it all. In 2019, Evans was banned from the NBA for breaking the league's drug rules. Just like O.J. Mayo, this wasn't a short suspension. It was a full dismissal. He was completely out of the league. He did apply for reinstatement in 2022, but by then, it was too late. The NBA had moved forward. New stars had taken over, and Evans never found his way back. The fall of Tyreke Evans is tough to watch, especially because of how bright his start was. His story shows us how fragile success really is. One moment, you can be at the top of the league, and in just a few years, you can be completely forgotten. Jontay Porter, the betting scandal. Now let's talk about one of the most shocking and recent cases, Jontay Porter. Jontay is the younger brother of Denver Nuggets star Michael Porter Jr. While his brother became an important piece of a championship team, Jontay was still trying to make his own name in the league. He had the chance to build his career, but in 2024, everything collapsed. The NBA announced that Porter was banned for life after an investigation into gambling. He wasn't just placing bets on games, he was also accused of giving inside information to gamblers. Even worse, reports showed that he purposely took himself out of games so certain bets would pay off. This turned into a massive scandal. With sports betting now easier and more popular than ever, the NBA had no choice but to take action. Gambling by players is the biggest red line. You simply cannot cross it. Unlike drug suspensions, where some players get a second chance, a lifetime ban means exactly that. Jontay Porter will never play in the NBA again. His story shows how seriously the league protects the integrity of the game. If fans ever start to believe that players are fixing games or messing with outcomes, the whole sport loses trust. That's why the NBA acted quickly and made an example out of him. It's a harsh ending, but it's also a reminder: one decision can cost you everything. Latrell Sprewell, the choking incident. Most of the players we're talking about are from the 2010s and beyond, but there's one older case that still feels modern because of how shocking it was. Latrell Sprewell. Back in 1997, Sprewell was a star for the Golden State Warriors. He had the talent, the energy, and the spotlight. But during one practice, things went terribly wrong. After a heated argument with his coach, Sprewell completely lost control. In a moment of rage, he attacked his coach and even put his hands around his neck. The incident was so wild that it instantly made headlines all over the country. Fans couldn't believe it. The NBA quickly stepped in and suspended Sprewell for the entire season. It wasn't a lifetime ban, but at that time, it was one of the toughest punishments the league had ever given. Sprewell did return later and even played some good years with the New York Knicks. But no matter what he did afterward, his reputation was never the same. For many fans, the image of him choking his coach became stronger than the memory of his skills on the court. This story is a powerful reminder of how dangerous it is to lose control in the heat of the moment. Sometimes, just a few seconds of anger can change how people see you for the rest of your life. Gilbert Arenas, the locker room, gun scandal. If you watched the NBA in the mid-2000s, you probably remember Gilbert Arenas. Fans knew him as Agent Zero, and for a while, he was one of the most exciting scorers in the league. He could put up 40 points on anyone, and his fun, confident personality made him a fan favorite. But in 2009, his career took a shocking turn that nobody expected. After a dispute with a teammate, Arenas brought guns into the Washington Wizards locker room. The NBA acted quickly, suspending him for the rest of the season. Even though he technically returned later, he was never the same player again. That one decision changed everything. The incident damaged his image, his career, and his relationship with his team. He went from being one of the NBA's most popular stars to being seen as reckless and irresponsible. The Gilbert Arenas story shows us something important. It doesn't matter how talented or loved you are on the court. One bad choice off the court can erase it all in an instant. Chris Andersen, Birdman's second chance. Not every ban ends a career. Chris Birdman. Andersen is proof of that. In 2006, Andersen was banned for breaking the NBA's substance abuse policy. At the time, most people thought his career was over. Usually, players don't come back from a ban like that. But Birdman didn't give up. After serving his suspension, he worked harder than ever to earn his way back into the league. And when he returned, he made the most of it. He became a valuable role player known for his energy, tough defense, and colorful personality that fans loved. His comeback was more than just a return. It was a success story. In 2013, he even won an NBA championship with LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Andersen's journey is different from most of the others because it proves that redemption is possible. Even after hitting rock bottom, with the right mindset and determination, a player can turn everything around. Why the NBA bans players? When you hear these stories, you might ask yourself, why does the NBA come down so hard on players? The answer is simple: credibility. The NBA isn't just a game. It's a billion-dollar business built on trust. Fans need to believe that what they're watching is fair and real. Sponsors need to feel confident putting their money into the league. And young kids watching at home need players they can look up to. That's why the league has such strict rules about drugs, gambling, and violence. It's not only about protecting the players, it's about protecting the entire sport. And today, with social media, every mistake spreads in seconds. One wrong move can turn into headlines around the world. Because of that, the NBA is even less forgiving now than it was in the past. The stories of Mayo, Tyreke Evans, Jontay Porter, Latrell Sprewell, Gilbert Arenas, and Chris Andersen all teach us something important. Talent is never enough on its own. Discipline, focus, and smart choices matter just as much, maybe even more. Some of these players got a second chance. Others lost it all forever. But the lesson is clear. One mistake can erase years of hard work. The NBA is the biggest basketball stage in the world. It gives players money, fame, and opportunity, but it also demands responsibility. If you can't handle that, the league will move on without you. So, the next time you watch an NBA star shining under the bright lights, think about this. What would you do to protect your dream? Would you risk it, or would you fight to keep it safe? If you enjoyed this video, Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to GOAT Report for more stories about the game we all love. And let me know in the comments which banned player shocked you the most.